continuing on, I didn't mean to do that. Down here in this one, I don't know how good of a shot it's going to be, but this is a New England fishing spider. You might have those down around where you're at, but this one I caught unexpectedly, and she is huge, in one of these larger containers. And very voracious eater, but very, very gorgeous patterns. I almost thought she was a species of wolf spider at first, but her legs were way too long. But I had her right after I got my first tarantulas, so that's kind of cool. Kind of just like a simple woodland setup going on in there. She's got the whole place webbed right up. Anything drops in anywhere and she's all over it. These next ones I'll haul out. Same thing, I made this one with some random pieces of wood from the expo and some fake plants. This is how I do my cross ventilation. What I do is I use a screw gun to drill the holes, and then I'll clean up the burrs, and then I'll heat treat the holes. That way they're all nice and rounded and everything, and I can keep them right around the same size. In which case this is like a little lean-to thing. So I can, a little thermometer on the side there too. I can pull this back. And there's my giant vinegar Hobbs. Awesome little thing. Hasn't been eating because it just molted freshly. And I don't know exactly how long vinegaroons take to get over molting before they'll want to eat, but this one doesn't seem to be that interested yet. But awesome specimen. Definitely still got some growing to do. It's only about like 2 3/4 inches, and I know they get maybe not twice that size, but she's gonna get bigger. But one of the ones I've wanted for a long time. If I had the money I would have bought it when I got my pink toes, but it was either both of the pink toes or that and one of this. But I knew I'd leave the show with one. Down here is my Rocky Pama Hamori, or Smitty, whichever the case may be. She's still pretty young. I'd have to say probably one of my more expensive arachnids, but well worth it. I'm just gonna she's gonna get a new house too, because this one, I want her to have one like the vinegaroon size. Well, at least until she gets older, and then she'll have her permanent enclosure, which will be a display tank. And I'll just lift it up so you can see. Oh. Okay. Still young, still a sling. She's just coming into her adult colors, though. But we won't disturb her too much. And right around this time, when I turn the lights down even more and everything, that's usually when she'll come out and she'll sit up there and do whatever. Probably the pickiest eater of any tarantula that I've seen and or owned. She does eat. It's just, as you saw, there was still a little baby dubia in there. Very, very picky. And I've had her long enough now where I thought maybe she's getting ready to molt, but I mean, that still could be the case. It's just taking a long time. I've read a lot of things that have told me that that's pretty common with them. Now I'm gonna have to set the phone down so I can bring those two down, because those are the big ones, and that's why they're up out of the way more. So just a moment. sure you'll recognize the Sterilite container. I already had one. It just seems like it's been pretty commonly used by others to make enclosures, especially for these ones. So I figured, why not do the same? Let's see where she's at. Well, she's not in her normal little hiding spot. Let's see where. Oh, there she is. Way over there. Alright, well, I guess I'm just gonna brave it and take the cover off. She's never bolted on me yet, but there's always a first time for everything. Oh. And there's my P-2. Good size. She was up out of the way more, but I'm sure you know how they like to hide.
You got any money for me tonight?
You can see the markings on the back.
Huh?
You can see her coloration in this particular piece of wood. I ended up making on my own from a stump that I had found and tore it apart. I got this really unique shape to it. Kind of domes down and it caverns up inside. And just added some fake plants, a little water dish, some moss. That's a real plant there. I figured that would help with the humidity and the temperature because I know that they like that more. It's the first time I've seen her hanging out over there. I mean, usually she's up over here or up there, or even seen her right there once. And she looks a lot better after I got her and I fed her. Her abdomen was really, really small when I first got her. Also with a fresh molt after I had gotten her. Did the whole cross vent thing. Multiple rows on this side. I was thinking about doing some more on this upper ridge, but I guess we'll have to find that out later on. And this one, let's see here. We dug out this whole back area, but this is my giant Asian rainforest scorpion. Let's take a look. What's going on here? I messed up the water dish again. And a piece of bark on the top. You can see coming down, way down underneath. It's actually pretty big. I don't think full size, but I would definitely think upper juvenile to sub-adult, if anything. And I wasn't aware that they hissed either, but I found that out with this one. But that's the basic setup there. She likes to perch up there sometimes. There used to be more moss there, but they kind of cleared that out. Not quite sure as to why, but hey, whatever floats their boat, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it as of now. And my vinegaroon, and a couple of spiders there, true spiders, as well as one tarantula on that shelf, 2 scorpions, 2 big tarantulas, P-2. I'm gonna have another enclosure like that, hopefully, as soon as I can find a P Metallica or something for a decent price. I'd like to have actually probably about a half a dozen of the P-2 are on my want list. And then these guys over here with a little sling up there and the green bottle blue, in which case I intend to rearrange this whole spot here and actually make like a shelving system just for them. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, that's pretty much the start of everything that I have, which isn't much, especially compared to some of you guys. Nowhere near. But yeah, I haven't been in it too long. I'm pretty knowledgeable when it comes to spiders and arachnids and everything, but I've never been able to actually keep any. up until recently. Within, I've gotten into the hobby like this probably within the last couple of months mainly, and I've done all this in that time. So yeah, for right off the bat, just let me know what you think. I watch everything that you guys do pretty avidly, where you put your air holes, what you said about ventilation, and like on the nanos here, the screen that comes on them and all that stuff. And I know there's always new ways to find out new ideas, to try out new things, and I'm always keeping my eyes open now for things that could be used for enclosures or good ideas that are cheap. And right now I'm planning on going to Hobby Lobby to look at some of their display cases, because the P-2 tarantula cases are some of my favorites, and it's not much different than what these cases originally start out as. Like this one I got from Jamie's Tarantulas, and I believe this one came from the same. It's one of the small, the Spiderling, but I think this one here is Jamie's Tarantula Spiderling, and the next size up, which is the juvenile, is the 4x4x5. I might like to get a couple of those, because I think it's actually closer to this size, but not as tall. But yeah, definitely first time ever doing something like this, or recording a video or anything, so hopefully didn't make too much of a fool of myself doing it. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So fingers crossed this goes alright, and let me know what you think.